Ever feel like you're doing this teaching thing alone? You don't have to be. Shared teaching is all about sharing the workload through the power of collaboration and teamwork. Together, we'll walk through all the difficult parts of teaching and learn how to streamline our processes, fine-tune our time management, and develop a more manageable workload. If that sounds like a dream come true to you, then welcome to the Shared Teaching Podcast. Let's share in the teaching to make those dreams a reality. Now here's today's Shared Teaching. Hello and welcome back to the Shared Teaching Podcast. I'm your host, Susan, and you are listening to another Writing Tip Wednesday episode. I have them every Wednesday, just a short, quick tip that you can use right away in your classroom teaching. So this is episode 146, and today we're going to talk about teaching opinion writing. I figure it's about that time. Maybe you're starting to teach opinion writing, and I love teaching opinion writing to first and second graders because, well, first of all, they have such strong opinions that it can be really fun to talk about favorite games, snacks, storybook characters, you name it. The trick is helping them learn to express these opinions in a way that's organized and supportive. And of course, you want to break down these ideas, and I'm going to show you how in today's podcast. So the first thing you want to do is start with a conversation. You want to talk about opinions with your students. You're kind of front-loading this idea of opinion writing. In a previous podcast episode, I also talked about this, and I'm going to link it in the show notes. And in that one, I talked about doing kind of like a would you rather and front-loading with picture books. Picture books are an amazing way to kind of start off a new unit, and it's one of my favorite ways to do it. So you're going to talk about opinions with your students. You're going to ask them things like, what's the best pet to have? Or what's the tastiest snack? Have your students share their answers with a partner and encourage them to say why they think their choice is the best. This is going to get them out of the habit of thinking about or into the habit of thinking about reasons and explanations, which is key for opinion writing because the standard for second grade says that they have to have a reason for their opinion. You can hear my dog there coughing. Okay, so you can also make it fun by turning it into a quick little debate. So if someone says dogs are the best pet because they're playful, maybe have others add their own thoughts or even respectfully disagree. These discussions are going to build a foundation of critical thinking that students can later apply to their writing. The next thing we want to do is model writing an opinion piece. So of course, you always want to have every mini lesson with you modeling something. I do like the I do, we do, you do format. So that is how all of my units are written. And so you are going to be the model, and you're going to start with something simple that the students can relate to. So maybe we're writing about the best recess game, and you're going to write and think aloud about each step in the process. This is really important because students really kind of need to know how you're generating these ideas, so you're talking about it out loud. So you're going to start with a strong opening statement, even if you're not telling them explicitly, hey, this is my opening statement. Later on, you can go back and color code and things like that, which I highly recommend doing because it will make their writing stronger. So you might start with an opening statement such as, I think tag is the best game to play at recess. Then you're going to add your reasons to support the opinion. It's exciting, everyone can play, and it gives us lots of exercise. Then you're going to go a little bit more in depth about each of those reasons. So you're kind of building in the idea of these paragraphs with supporting reasons. And as you model, you're emphasizing how each reason supports your opinion. You're going to show students that they can make their opinion stronger by giving clear reasons. You can even add a little conclusion, such as, that's why I think tag is the best game. This way your students are going to see how to wrap up their own thoughts. Once they've seen you do the model, you're going to give them a graphic organizer. And of course, I am really big on doing graphic organizers. I love to have students go through the writing process. And the first step of that for me is plan. So you're going to show them how to use an organizer to plan. And we want to keep it very basic here. We want to have a box at the top for their opinion, maybe 3 boxes below that for the reasons, and a final box for the closing sentence. And that just going to give them a nice visual aid to structure the writing without feeling really overwhelmed. You can even make it a class activity where everyone fills out the organizer with the same topic, i.e. the we do part, right? Before moving on to their own. This way students get a sense of the structure before they try to write it independently. You want to encourage students when it's time to write on their own to choose topics that they generally care about. So at this age, if they're what they're excited about in their writing, they're going to put more effort into it. So maybe they have an opinion about the best movie character or their favorite animal, their favorite comic book. They're going to come up with a lot of ideas that they can write about that because they really enjoy and like that topic. The more personal it is, the more invested they'll be in writing about it. Also, be open to creativity. You might end up with some unusual topics like why gummy bears are the best candy or why my pet hamster is the smartest pet. And as long as they're using reasons to support their opinion, they're learning the skill. So it's okay not to have everyone on the exact same prompt, right? Give them a little bit of freedom to choose their own thing to write about. And you'll see lots more writing out of them than you would if you structured it really in a tiny box and said, we're all writing about the best pet, and the best pet is a cat. Well, what if kids don't like cats, right? What if they think the best pet is going to be a dinosaur? It's okay if it's silly and ridiculous. It's just getting them to write. And we want them to have the skill, not the topic. Okay, so to wrap up, you want to make sure that you're setting aside a few minutes for sharing. This is also embedded within my writing units. So you can use a partner, you can do a small group, you can even share it with the whole class and have someone come to like the share chair or whatever it is that you use in your classroom. When students are sharing their opinion writing, it's giving them an authentic audience and a chance to hear different perspectives. Plus, they get to practice giving feedback, asking questions, and that deepens their understanding. Sharing also allows students to see examples of how other students are writing in class. And sometimes if you really kind of handpicked those ones that gave a really great reason or had a really beautiful worded sentence, then it's going to give them kind of like an anchor to look at and kind of push them to be like that. Opinion writing doesn't have to be this big production. It can be easy to do with simple, engaging activities, just like talking about their opinions, modeling the writing, using some kind of organizer for their plan, and encouraging personal topics. You are going to have your students feeling confident about sharing their ideas, and you're going to enjoy teaching opinion writing as well. Thanks for tuning in for this Wednesday episode, and I will see you later on this week for a special, another guest episode you won't want to miss. Bye for now. If you've loved this show, then join me in sharing the teaching,
hitting that subscribe button,
and leaving us a review on
iTunes
so we can be found by more teachers like you who are ready to start sharing the workload. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Find new episodes each week on sharedteaching.com. Thanks for listening to the Shared Teaching Podcast.